Hello everyone, this is your code friend. Welcome to yet another video in my YouTube channel. So in this video, we are gonna discuss the different ways we can create data frame in Pandas. So what is a data frame? A data frame is a two-dimensional level data structure with columns of potentially different types. You can think of it like a spreadsheet or SQL table or a dict of series objects. It is generally the most commonly used Pandas object. So data frame is nothing, it's like a table-like structure. If you have used any kind of database like MySQL, SQL Server, what is a database? A database is nothing but a collection of tables, right? So a data frame is just like a table. There you have rows, you have columns, and the columns can be of potentially different types. So there can be of integer type of columns, string type of columns, date time type of columns, and all these types we can have in a data frame. So if you want to summarize data frame in short, it's basically a table like structure with certain number of rows and columns, right? So this is the core data structure of Pandas, and almost 90% of work in Pandas is executed using data frame, which I have already discussed in my very first video of the playlist, right? So in a data frame, the data can be read from different data sources. It can be different files, it can be a SQL server, MySQL, a JSON, or any other data source for that purpose. So in my previous videos, I have already showed you how we can read data or how we can import our data from an Excel or a CSV or a JSON. We are gonna see what are the different ways of creating a data frame. So first one is from a dictionary containing list or series as values, from NumPy ND array, from Pandas series, from list of tuples, from another data frame, and using zip function. I will discuss in detail each and every method of creating a data frame. So without wasting any further time, let's get started. Okay, so to work with anything in Pandas, what is the first thing that we have to do? We have to import the library, right? Which we have already done in our previous videos as well. So let's import Pandas. Okay, let me increase the font for you a bit so that it's easily visible. I think it's better now. So import pandas as pd, let's run it. So pandas has been successfully imported with the alias pd. Now we will look at the first method of creating a data frame, and this is using dictionary. So we are gonna create it using dictionary. Let's give the name of the data frame as df. So pd dot data frame. So it's basically the constructor of the data frame class, or you can think of just a function for now. So in this data frame function, we have to pass the dictionary. So let's first go to do shift tab and look at the documentation. So it basically provides us with these parameters. The first one is data, then index, columns, dtype, copy. Fine. So we will go through them one by one. So first of all, we have to pass the data that will be stored in the data frame. So in the data parameter, we will pass a dictionary. Fine. So let's say our data frame will have 3 columns. In our previous video, we discussed about the medical insurance premium data frame. So there we had several columns. Let's take some of them. Let the first column be age. So this is the first key of our dictionary, and what will be the value of the key? The value of the key can be a list. Fine. So let's say 20, 30 and 40. So when we are creating a data frame using a dictionary, each key of the dictionary is going to serve as a column name. Fine. So this is a column name age, and in this column we will have these 3 values. Fine. Then we'll have, let's say, blood pressure problem, or I am taking it as a BP problem. Let it be yes, then no, then yes, and let the third column be diabetes. So there we, let's say we have 0, 1, 0. Fine. So basically 0 will represent that the person doesn't have diabetes, and 1 represents he or she does have diabetes. Fine. So we have passed the data parameter. We have passed the dictionary as a value of the data parameter. Now we, from the keys of the dictionary, it will automatically infer the column name. So let's try to run it. So the data frame has been created. Now if we print it, you can see all the data that we passed have been successfully stored in the data frame. Now, apart from the column names, as I discussed in my previous video, you can also give some row names or the labels of the rows. Instead of, if you don't pass anything as the index, it will take consecutive numbers starting from 0 as the row number or row label. But if you want to explicitly give a row name or row label, then apart from passing the data, you also have to pass the index. Let's say you want to pass it as, fine. So let's press Alt plus Enter, and now if we run it, you can see the indices have been created. So we have seen one way of creating a data frame. Fine. Now let's see another way. So here we have used the dictionary. In the next method, we will use list of dictionaries. So using list of dictionaries. Fine. So let's say we'll create another data frame, df1 equal to pd.dataframe. Now when you are passing a list of dictionaries, then each of the element in the list, each element of the list or each single dictionary will represent a single row. So let's look at that. Let's say this is the list, and inside this we will pass 3 dictionaries. Fine. We will pass 3 dictionaries. So each of the dictionary, as before, will contain some keys and values. The first key will be age, the second key will be BP problem, and the third key will be diabetes, right? But there is a difference between this approach and the above approach. As I just mentioned, here each individual dictionary or each individual inner dictionary will represent a single row. So instead of passing a list as the value of the key, we will pass a single value as the value of each key, because here each inner dictionary will represent only one row. So we will have to pass only one value. So we will pass it like this: age colon 20, BP problem colon, let's say yes, and diabetes 0. Similarly, let's copy it and let's move it to different lines. Let's move it to different lines, copy the dictionary and paste it here and again paste it. So let's change the values. Fine. So again we have to pass the indices. So let's ignore the indices for now, because you have already understood how to create index for our data frame. So I am not using the index parameter here. So let's run it, and you can see the dictionary, the data frame has again been created. So what is the basic difference between these two approaches? Here we are passing only one dictionary, and against each key, that is against each column, we are passing the value of all the rows for that particular column. But here, as each individual dictionary represents only a single row, that's why for each key, that is each column name, we are passing only one value. Fine, guys? So these are two of the most commonly used methods of creating data frames. Now let's move on to the next method. The next method is passing a list of list as the data parameter. So 40, yes, 0. Fine. So this approach is quite similar to the previous approach. In previous approach, each inner dictionary represented a row. Here each inner list represents a row. Fine. So apart from this, as in the previous approaches, in the dictionary oriented approach, the column name was automatically inferred from the name of the keys of the dictionary. But here, as we are not passing any dictionary, so there will be no keys, so the column name cannot be inferred from the data, so we have to explicitly pass the column names. So let's write. Similarly, in the index, you can pass person 1, person 2 and person 3, or patient 1, patient 2, patient 3, as we did in this case. Fine. Alt enter, then again print df2, and you get your data printed here, right? So this was list of list. Similarly, you can also use list of tuples. Just it's quite the same approach. Just instead of inner list, you will pass a list of tuples instead of list of lists, right? Okay, let's give it a different name, df3, and so we get the same data. So this is one thing. Now the next thing is creating NumPy arrays, or passing 2D NumPy arrays as the data parameter of the data frame. So let's see how we can do that. So NumPy is a library which we use very commonly to solve linear algebra related problems, that is for matrix multiplications, vector manipulation. So while we'll solve machine learning related problems, we will see that linear algebra plays a very important part there. So then we will often use the NumPy library or NumPy vectors. So here we are just going to create a NumPy two-dimensional array. So what is a two-dimensional array? If you look at this list of lists, it is also a two-dimensional structure actually, because if you look at a single list, it's a one-dimensional structure. Now when you stack one list on top of another list, it becomes a two-dimensional structure, right? So let's import NumPy as np, and let's create an array, and inside this array we will simply pass this list of lists. It will become a two-dimensional array itself. Okay, so let it give the name data. Now in the next line we will again do pd.dataframe, and we will pass data equal to data, or you can simply pass data. Fine. And again you have to specify the column names. And the indices in the same way that we did earlier. Right. So let's give it the name df4. Let's run it. Let's print the data frame once again, and you get the same results. Fine. So this was another way, using NumPy two-dimensional array, right? So in the next method we are gonna use a function called zip. So let's say we have this three arrays or three lists, age 20, 30, 40. Then let's copy it from here. Now there is a function called zip function. Okay, so if you zip these three lists, let's check it. It basically gives you a zip object. So it basically merges these three lists. Okay, so it creates a row taking the first value of the first list, that is the zeroth value of the first list, zeroth value of the second list, zeroth value of the third list, then first value of the age list, first value of the BP problem list, first value of the diabetes list, and then this one, and this one. So let's create our data frame once again. And let's pass this as a value of the data parameter. Again we will, okay, let's run it, df5, and obviously it will not have columns because we have just passed normal lists and not the dictionaries, and we have passed the normal list and merged the values from this individual list, so the column names cannot be inferred. Let's print it. So you can see when you don't when you pass neither the columns nor the indices, and it is taken as 0, 1, 2. So it starts from 0 and takes the consecutive integers as the values of the indices and the columns. So you will have to pass again the indices and the columns, right? And you get your desired data frame. So this is another way of creating a data frame using different lists and zipping them or merging them using the zip function. So another very interesting thing is there, that is if you for some reason you may have to create a new data frame from an existing data frame. So let's say I want to create a new data frame df6 from the existing data frame df5. So if you want to do that, you can do that by simply doing it like this. df5, and if you print df6, you'll see the same data frame. Now you will say I could have simply done that using df6 equal to df5, right? And then also if I print df6, it will give me the same data frame. Then why on earth I am using this data frame function? So the answer to that question is, it will depend on what you actually want. If you want to create a different object altogether, then you have to use this approach because it does a deep copy. So it creates a completely different data frame at a different memory location called df6. Now if you do it like this, it does not create any new object, or it does not create any new data frame. It simply creates a new reference called df6, and that df6 reference also starts pointing to the same memory location where the df5 object is pointing. So this is basically shallow copy and this is deep copy. Understood? This concept of shallow copy and deep copy has been discussed in detail in my video related to list in my Python for beginners playlist. If you are not aware of this concept, I recommend you go back to that playlist and check my video on list in Python. So the link for that video will be given in the description section of this video. Fine. So these are basically the ways in which we can create a data frame. Okay, there is another data structure called series in pandas. We will discuss about series in detail in our later videos. You can also pass series to create data frame. So let's look at that, how we can do that. So pd dot data frame, let's say in as the H column. Here I'm, for simplicity and for saving time, I'm just creating 2 columns. Okay, so pd dot series, just it's a series is just like a list or a numpy as one-dimensional array. It's nothing else. Okay, so it's basically a separate data structure in pandas. So it's just works like a list or a one-dimensional array. Don't get bothered about series too much. We will discuss it in detail in our next videos. So inside the series you can pass the values, let's say 20, 30 and 40. Similarly for BP problem, also you can pass a series. Fine, a series of yes, no and yes. So where were the values? Yes, you can pass a series like this. Fine. Okay, there were some syntax error. Let's check that. Okay, so it should be a dictionary, right? I guess it's okay now. Okay, here also I will have to use pd dot series. Right now, if we run the cell, it will be good to go. Okay, so we have inside the dictionary as a value of the keys of the dictionary, instead of passing a simple list, we have passed a series. So friends, these are the main ways in which you can create a data frame in pandas. So I will share you the link of downloading this notebook in the description section of this video. If you have liked this video, please subscribe to my channel, and please don't forget to like and share my video so that it reaches a larger audience and they also get benefited from it. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you have any queries regarding this video, please let me know that in the comment section, and also let me know if you have liked this video or not.